Go ahead, Jimmy.
All right. So I'm not really going to show very much of our cool apps today. Instead, we're going to talk mobile strategies, and that is really highlight the need of having a mobile strategy. Sorry, mobile platform strategy. So we're Gekko. We're a cross-platform developer company. We're based in Barcelona, have offices in UK, Sweden, and Cambodia, of all places. And so we develop applications for media agencies, advertising agencies, and global brands. And last year we developed over 140 applications on all platforms, actually. So, the topic for today, things to consider when choosing mobile platform. First, we're going through platforms to deal with, choosing development model, and finally, we're giving you some advice and recommendations. So, we have like 9 minutes left, so I have to be really quick walking this through. Well, we have the landscape of platforms today. It's very fragmented, as you see, and we can ask this guy why. It's a perfect example where where Steve Jobs is talking about Flash and saying that it's a cross-platform tool, and that it's not Adobe's interest to help developers create great apps for the iPad, iPod, and iPhone. And so let me quote, "We cannot accept an outcome where developers are blocked from using our innovations and enhancements because they are not available on our competitors' platforms." So for every one of you waiting for the platform out there to merge and to be, let's say, unifying the business, forget it. It won't happen. It's just about making business today and do it on the platforms that we have available, like Apple's. And we have the Apple is really doing their own thing, as everybody knows. And when you develop on iPhone, iPad, or iPod, you don't really have much synergies when you go to the next platform. So let's say that you do an Android application after you made an iPhone app. This is exactly the same app. You actually have you gain around 30% of the initial cost from synergies. It's only overhead and graphics and so on that you can reuse, nothing else. So, but except for being a totally closed environment, they have actually invited, you could say, the business by developing the WebKit, so that HTML5 will be coming more and more, and also used in the browsers of Android, for example. So, next platforms we have that are living in their, let's say, their bubble of their own, you could say, is BlackBerry, Symbian, Windows Mobile, and Palm, where we have BlackBerry as the definite leader in the B2B sector, and of course Symbian with its 46% of the global market share, still the leader in terms of market share, but not in terms of usage, as you know. And then finally, we have Linux. So I don't know if you knew that Linux is actually the kernel for many different OSs today. We have Limo, which is the Linux Foundation. And then we have Android, Memo, Migo, and then the Vodafone 360, which is built on Azingo, is really a widget platform running on the Linux kernel. And then we have Samsung's Bada, of course. So, when developing for these platforms, what you can do is that you can gain some synergies from these platforms to others because they are written in Java and JavaScript, if you go to the 360 platform. But the best way to go would be starting with the Java platform and then go over to Android, for example. If you start with developing a Java application, you will have, let's say you have 100% of the cost first, of course. The second app would be down to like 50% of the first one. So it could be really interesting to consider in which end you start when developing mobile applications. Finally, we have, of course, the mobile web, but we're not going to talk about that because it's not a platform today. Okay, so secondly, we are talking about choosing development model. So the ones that we have is native apps. They are running natively. They have full functionality. You can use every type of functionality you have specifically for that platform. And there are almost no synergies between the platforms, like I said before. And so this is just some screenshots of the European directory solution that we've made, where we do everything mobile for them on all platforms, both Java, BlackBerry, XHTML, and iPhone and Android. And why they choose to go natively there is because of the extensive functionality. And to be in full control, you really need to do that sometimes. So, then we have script apps. I don't know, do you know about script apps? That is, no? Well, that is what I talked about before. It's actually applications that you write in JavaScript, running in a web environment, working like widgets, like on the Vodafone 360 portal, for example. And what you have there is limited functionality, but very cost efficient for cross-platform development. So, when you've done the first version, you go to the second one, you actually have can go down to 30% of the initial cost on the second app. So these are just samples of script apps that we made for Vodafone McLaren, for Domino's Pizza, and for BAA, which didn't really show, did it? Yeah, a little bit. So we've done that for different platforms for Heathrow Airport then. All right, so code-ported apps. It's actually, well, you can normally write code-ported apps in Java, and then it's converted to any language to run as native apps on those phones. But you still have limited functionality because you have to adjust, so it works for all type of platforms that you target. All right, Java apps. It's really, I took that as a section by its own, since it's still the platform that makes you able to get the highest penetration still. For example, I can say that when we launch global campaigns, we at least have 5 times as many downloads on Java as we have on iPhone apps. And that is because, of course, we have a lot of markets that haven't really adopted the iPhone and Android yet. All right, some advice and recommendations. So, questions to ask yourself when you launch or when you're about to approach the mobile market and choose mobile platform. What is your objective? Is it PR or market reach? Who is your target audience? What country? What niche? Where do you get the most attention for money? It's not always that you get the attention on the App Store. It may be that you should make a deal with a mobile operator that can give you exposure that you can't really get on the App Store with 200,000 apps. We love the App Store, believe us, but for sure there are alternatives. And finally, how much are you willing to spend, of course? So our recommendations is for PR, communication, and experience, you should start with iPhone. It's quite basic today. For innovation and being controversial, go with Android. Why? Because if you're innovative and you want to be free using the extensive APIs that Google provides today, it's a perfect opportunity. And also, if you're controversial, you can't go onto the App Store because they will ban you. So, For youth market, our experience is that J2ME is still very, very, very successful. For example, for Malibu Rum, we made a bowling game that's up to date has 2.6 million downloads. And it's quite hard to beat on another platform. So for mass market reach, of course, you need to go for as many platforms as possible. And our advice is to start with iPhone and Android today. So for business users, definitely BlackBerry and Java. They're still the strongest. And of course, Android is coming strong, iPhone as well. But because of the limitations that Apple has set for themselves by tying themselves up to operators, definitely we believe more in Android in that sector. So that's all. Thank you.